Most of you know about Martin's Cabin up in Minnesota, and you know about Martin's Shack down in the river bottoms. Well, what you're seeing here is Martin's Shed. There's a farm where I deer hunt, and I do a lot of work over there and do some things. So this is my shed, and this is my equipment. Everybody says, why don't you have an ATV up north? Well, I have one here. I even have a Alice Chalmers D15 tractor, and I got Vonnie a new mower. I even took the old beast that she used to use over there, and I have that stored over there, and air compressor and a few other things around, and we're good to go. I have a project today of need to take out a beaver dam that's got our hunting grounds on the river bottoms really backed up to some farmers' fields. So I'm going to throw in some equipment here, saw, different axes or anything else I think that I might need, and maybe a little bit of a lunch, and then I'll take you out back, and the first thing we'll do is we're going to look at some of my upper ground where I deer hunt. We did a big burn there the other day, so I want to go out and kind of take a look at what that looks like. Part of what I'll call my upper ground deer hunting properties with the landowners. We have a good relationship. He lets me hunt over there, and also I cut firewood over there. We have, in this part of the country, of course, we have some big oaks, and in old age they fall over. Now there's a log I need to get working on, and this log over our head here, now I guess that's the ultimate widowmaker, we would call that, but it's hung up in a few trees to the left you can't see, so I know that we're safe in there. But this is only, we're probably 300 meters now from where I got my shed, Martin's Shed, and I've kind of mowed this down with my new lawnmower last year because I knew I had to get in here, and there was another really big oak tree that had gone over. And last fall I had been in here with a chainsaw and my big 14-foot trailer behind the Durango, and I hauled out at least 2 full cord of oak firewood out of this, and that was just out of the top. You can see this big beast of a log. I'm thinking about just I'm going to take the log splitter right over there, and I'm going to split it up into firewood sized pieces right there, because yeah, it'd be possible to get the tractor with the loader out, and I could probably get these rolled up on the trailer and get them home, but it's going to be a lot more efficient and easy on my body to cut them up over there and bring them home. And it's just some of the chores that I've been out goofing around so much and not getting done. Even being retired, there's always so much to do, and here as we head up into getting up into some of the more open ground of where I deer hunt. This is a place I put some labor into, cutting a lot of the invasive species out of this, and then to keep the invasive species in check, we do these prescribed burns. And I was out about 4 days ago, and we burned off, I don't know what it was, maybe 40 acres. This is just kind of looking up one hill, but I've got a deer stand over here to the right. This deer stand works out so nice just to go out and sit in on an evening, so I've left it up there. It might be a little harder on it, but it's worth it having it over there for me or the landowner to climb up, take a nice peek. These are CRP fields. It's by the rules the way it's set up. About every 4 or 5 years the landowner is required to burn them off, and the idea is to keep this brush in check, but we'll have to go out and cut some of this down. But it may not look like much, but boy, it is a dandy place for big bucks. There's some old waterways and kind of like a ravine, a lot of brush in them, and a lot of berry bushes, and just enough cover that the big bucks, they love to hang out there. I like beavers as much as the next guy, but what I'm standing on now is our nice dry road with our access to the river bottoms. Crossing is supposed to be a little bit of water way out there. So you can see my friendly beaver, he's got this water backed up beyond what we can handle. And the farmer over to the west, he'd kind of like to put in some corn and soybeans. So our job today down here on Martin's Playground is to go and drain this water away and see if we can discourage these beaver from rebuilding the dam. It just can't be here. There's so many places they can be down here, but not here. It looks like I may have more than one problem here. This is what we call our dry crossing. There's a culvert underneath there. Last year they plugged it up and we were able to knock it out and everything was good. And they built a dam way to our right. But it looks like now, besides the dam way to the right, they've come in here and filled this, plugged our tube again, because as I go across, the water is lower downstream. Well, that'll be a secondary problem. If you look way down across that water, you'll see a kind of a break. That's the Beaver Dam holding back the water. And that's what I figured on having to deal with, was going down there and just getting that opened up. With this culvert being plugged, it's more than a culvert, it's about 8 feet wide and 3 feet deep. So we'll see what happens when we get this water drained away, if it'll, maybe we can get it forced through this one too. I was hoping that over the winter that the beaver that started this would realize he was in a he wasn't in a good spot for beaver activity. Trees in the area were mostly dead and very few of them, and where he was backing the water up for the longest ways, it was just some marshland and things, and if I was a beaver I would have realized there was no future in this place, but he seems to have spent the winter in that little cubby hole, which I'm surprised he didn't freeze out. With the water being as high as it is, he doesn't have a lot of headroom in there. Well, now we're out on the official beaver dam. It runs across this cattail marsh, which I knew would mean that the beaver really didn't have a lot of nice fine brush to make a very solid dam out of, so he had to use dead sticks. And beavers don't really, they put sticks together, but those sticks do not hold back the water. But the sticks are the framework that then they push mud up against those sticks. They get it under their chin and in front of their paws, and they push these big clods of mud up, and they just keep going out and swimming up and bringing it and packing it against the side of those sticks, and that's how the beaver makes his dam. So we're going to dismantle it by going back, and we're going to pull the sticks out that he first put in. We'll weaken the backside and we'll make a hole. And then we want to use all that power of that water rushing through, and it'll sweep things away as I rake it into the stream. The problem I didn't think about was they've got that culvert plugged up upstream a ways. I figured on a lot of acre feet of water to be helping me out, but I'm going to have to get this started and then go back, and I had a little maneuver I did last year and I got that flush out of the other tube. So one problem at a time. One nice thing is nice solid ground out here. But I got to show you something. I look down on here and I have an observer. Check this out. Now that snapping turtle, he could take my whole hand, probably about 15 inches across the shell. And believe it or not, went up by the little culvert when I was checking that out. There was one up there eyeing me that was half again that big. These old boys have probably been alive about as long as I have. I'm just not going to step into that water and put my hand in that part. We'll get to work. He's not leaving. Kind of what I thought. All rotten wood makes this go a lot easier. Yeah. Okay, we're getting the sticks out of the way. Got a big layer of mud there holding the water back, but it'll be easy to let go in a little bit. Even an old cow bone. Now's the time to do a slow down and let the water do its work. It hasn't been too long and we're already down about 6 inches. What I'm hoping is we get this water drawn away from that plug in that culvert over there, that it'll raise the pressure on that plug and any leaks will start going through like this did and break itself out. Or I'll go over and give it a little assistance with a pole on the end. That's how I got it last year. I just kind of pulled some stuff back from the end and it broke through. So we're looking good here. I'll deepen this channel a little bit more and we'll give it some more time. Really soft mud way out here, but you have to stop that water. So one nice thing about this process too is if you dig a dam out and lay it there, if you blow it up, all the debris is laying here and the beavers have it to rebuild. So this way it's long gone and they'll have a harder time. Okay, time to go over and see if we got any water flowing through that culvert. Velocity here's dropped down. You can see we're down over a foot in height, so should be a lot more pressure against the plug in that culvert. We'll go play in the water over there. I see you. Now we don't. There's not much water coming through the culvert, but I do see that what is coming through is kind of muddy and stirred, which tells me that it's eating away at something in there, so we'll try to boost it along. We now have quite a difference from one side to the other, so that should be a lot of pressure against whatever I try to jog loose. Usually what a beaver will do is they'll put some cross pieces across right at the entrance to these tubes, so if I can knock that a little bit loose, get some water flowing through to flush things out, and then finally she'll just shoot through and I can stand on top and watch it go. See what we feel down here. I was pulling on my stick over there and I could feel I was moving something down in there. And then I heard the old pipe gurgle gurgle, so there it comes. She should blow right through there in a little bit. That's what we wanted. Better go check out the lower dam. I left my pick down there, it might get flooded. The bathtub is draining now. Now we can talk about those acre feet of water that are going to slush down through here. There must be, between the offshoots and the channels, there must be close to a mile of water backed up like this. She's going to be going all night. As we prepared to do this project, I had an email from the landowner. He said, "You make sure you keep track of your hours, I want to pay you." Who pays a child to play in the mud and water anyway? There's going to be a lot of water disappearing down here, which that's a good thing. I won't need a boat to get across this crossing anymore, but there will still be plenty of water for we got a lot of ducks and sandhill cranes and everything around. They'll have plenty, and we'll get some of our trails back that have been inundated with water. It's gotten so deep. That water will soon be flowing the other way. This is on one of the arms of water that stretched out, flooded into the farmer's field and on their lanes. So everybody be happy, except Mr. Beaver. Yes, even as the water level lowers, there's plenty of water for all this wildlife. This farm field is a long ways from that dam, but it's still the water that got backed up from that, so that farmer would be glad to have it gone. You see, all that water was making it hard for Martin to get down to his shack. So like I say, everybody's happy.